Hi, everybody. This is my first one of these, and I wanted to say that there might be many more, and usually they will start with a disclaimer, but I don't want to do the disclaimer. I'm just going to say that everybody whose names that I mention will be modified by a convention of my own, and you won't know who anybody is, but that's okay. Who cares? I want to tell a story about my neighbors, the ones above and the one below. First off, though, I want to say that for the first time in my entire life, I am living between somebody above and below. I've never done it before. I've always been either above or below, never between. So, to say that for the first time, I also got to know a neighbor, the guy below. A nice, very nice man who is heavily disabled and who I respect more than anything. He is a great guy. He works very hard. He lives alone and he still manages by himself. To say that I don't respect the man is ridiculous. I would stand beside him no matter what. He is a great guy. But that also brings me to my other neighbors, the ones above. They are a totally different story. This I moved in 2.5 months ago, and the fun started with them then. On day 2, there was food on my balcony. The birds picked it off. I didn't really notice at first. I noticed briefly, but then the next day there was more food. And I began to start sweeping the food off my balcony on a daily basis, and it would be replaced by various breadcrumbs or crackers, depending on whatever the people above me had. They also fought a lot. They swore consistently, and they chose to fight, oftentimes late at night. So sleeping was difficult. This also led to their bed. Since I never saw their bed, I can't say what it really was, but it was probably a 30-year-old bed that squeaked ridiculously. It squeaked so bad that I think when somebody walked in the room, it would squeak. Just being in somebody's presence, it would squeak. It was that bad. So, their procreating at night started always with tickling. The tickling started and would last 30 minutes to 40 minutes and just keep going, and then would lead into other things. The problem was they were always on the bed, so the bed would squeak nonstop the whole time. So for an hour and a half to 2 hours, it would squeak. I couldn't hear voices real well because the squeaking was so loud. You didn't have to hear voices. It was just the squeak. It also, they would be up late because they didn't have jobs. They don't have jobs. They don't care. They don't have a car. They just sit around and do nothing. So late at night at 12 or 12:30 or 1 o'clock, they would take out a small bag of garbage and always come back from the dumpster with something else. They were dumpster diving. Why you'd ever want to is beyond me. These people did it all the time. The fun continued. In about 4 weeks ago, I came home from work one day and there was barking. Consistent barking in the building where there's never any barking at all. This time there was barking. It was bad. Non-stop. A small dog, perhaps a chihuahua, something like that, barking non-stop. I came into my apartment. Lo and behold, the barking was above me. A free-roaming animal running around. Now, it doesn't surprise me that poor people who have nothing would go out and get a dog. But nothing surprises me with people anymore. So the fact that these people had a dog and the dog was running around doing God only knows what in their own apartment didn't surprise me. The dog barked nonstop for the next hour and a half. Somebody must have come home and stopped the dog. So I had a dog to live with as well. And I figured that these people would never let the dog go or never let the dog be kept properly. Needless to say, only 3 weeks ago the dog vanished. I guess they were sitting it for it or watching it for somebody else. The dog was gone. It was a brief and wonderful respite. The bed noises continued, and was worse as the bed noises increased. I'm happy to say that 2 weeks ago, no, a week and a half ago, I came home to see a truck parked outside, and the woman above me, the most vile creature I've ever seen in my entire life, was standing on her balcony looking out at the vehicle. And it was their moving vehicle. And here she is spouting profanity just because she could or she would. Nonstop. Nonstop. And her cackle laugh. Over and over in the hallway, swearing up a storm about somebody being in her way, or she didn't want to go downstairs, or etc., etc. She started throwing stuff off her own balcony so her boyfriend could load it into the van. It was pathetic. Lame. But anyway, I was extremely happy that the noise was gone and I could finally sleep well at night. Although I didn't sleep well at night because I'd become adjusted to the noise level. So now I'm still trying to adjust to having quiet nights. It's bizarre, a bit of irony. So anyway, that's my first video, everyone. I wanted to say good night and good luck, and I will talk to you very soon.